problem.
Let's creep in. Hello.
Hello. Right. Well, this has not gone to plan at all.
I'm doing it the other way around.
I had arranged for. No,
apparently not.
I had arranged to do a recording session with Joanne here, and my laptop has decided to do some updates, and
which is really good. Software updates are good.
Yes, it's the wrong person to happen. So we're going to do it on our phone. So if it's a bit shaky, I apologise. So hello everybody. I hope that you're having a really nice Thursday. I am here with the lovely Joanne Bocko, who works for the Avon and Somerset
Police for the cybercrime team.
And she's just done a really good presentation at our local networking event, and we thought it would be a really good idea to just go through what she's been through with our networking group, because it will help you protect your businesses and also your home life as well. So hello, Joanne.
Hello. Hello everybody at home that's watching. Thank you for tuning in.
So tell us a little bit about cybersecurity and what we can do about it.
Cool. So the reason we're always talking about cybersecurity nowadays is it's becoming a really big deal. It's much more likely that cyber criminals are going to try and get into your email account, try and defraud you online somehow, then rob you in the street. It's just a lot easier for them. They could do it from anywhere in the world. They could target loads of people all at the same time. So yeah, then they're going that angle a lot more than traditional crimes. We're going to go over some top tips that you can use for your business and also use personally to reduce your risk of getting hacked or attacked.
That sounds brilliant, because it's so scary, isn't it, what can happen out there now, and it happens to people. There were a few people in our networking group this morning, they'd all had like different things happen. One was a ransomware thing, somebody had been sent a dodgy email. I think we all get a lot of that. So it's really about being on our game and what can we do. So do you want to go over those few top tips then?
Sure. Top tip number 1.
Ta-da.
Passwords. The most common password in the United States apparently is password 123.
Really?
That is a terrible password. Make sure that your password, the current guidance, if you go to the Cyber Aware website, the current guidance on passwords is 3 random words. So I'm going to look around the room and think of something daft: light, chair, postbox, or something daft that makes no sense and you wouldn't have even thought a couple of minutes ago that that would be your password. Congratulations, you've got a brand new password. Because it's so random, it's really hard for somebody to guess. Much harder than if someone new meet you and they know what your dog's called or what your favourite football team is. That's going to be really easy to guess. So if you have 3 random words, it's probably going to be about a 16-letter password, which is really good, strong, long password. The main account that you're going to want to have a really good password is for your email account. Because if someone gets into your email account, they can reset your password for absolutely everything. So if nothing else, email password, super strong. For anybody who's in business, make sure your website password is good and your social media password is really good as well. What you can do, if you can't remember lots of really long passwords, you can look into getting a password manager. So it's an app on your phone, it will remember all your passwords for you, or where they can create really good passwords for you. So if you go onto like Which Best Buy, you'll be able to find really good guidance on what password managers there are. So it's a really good start. The other thing that you can do in terms of password use is set up what's called 2-factor authentication. And it basically means that if someone's trying to hack into your account without having your telephone, they won't be able to get into your account. So if you set up 2-factor authentication on your Facebook, your email account, whenever you try to log onto your account, it will send a text code to your phone, or it will ask you a question and say, is this you? And then you select yes or no. So without that person having access to your phone, they can't get into your account, even if they know what your password is.
That's really good, because I do see a lot of notifications on my personal Facebook saying, oh, so-and-so's just tried to friend request me, who is it, what do they do? So yeah, that's a really good thing, two-factor identification.
That's a really good one. Part 2. Backups. Back up your data. This is particular for our business people out there. If you back up your data, if you get hit with ransomware and all your files are encrypted, if you backed up your data yesterday, set it up again and you're good to go. So that ransomware attack is not going to have a big effect on you. You have to kind of figure out as a business, how long can you go without backing up? If you do loads of information every day and if you lost the previous days, you're absolutely stuck because you don't know who you're meeting for businesses or what clients are coming in. That's going to be really tricky for you. So back up to the cloud, back up onto a USB, back up to a hard drive. But just if you do it to a USB or hard drive, just remove it from your computer, because whatever hits your computer can also hit any external device if it's currently connected.
It's quite good to back it up to 2 different places at once anyway, isn't it? So maybe one the cloud and one on a USB stick or an external hard drive.
There have been instances of ransomware going from computers to devices if they're connected, and maybe even going up to the cloud. So the more backups you have, the better. It's for yourself as a business to decide what's most important to you and how it's kind of weighing up effort versus security.
And I do think, I'm always going on about doing our accounts and keeping them updated so that at the end of the year you're not panicking if you've got that horrible, oh my God, I've got to do it. Just get into a routine of doing it once a week when it suits you, because hopefully it won't be as bad as having to do the whole thing from scratch. So the first time might take a long time to back up your laptop, but if you do it regularly, it won't actually take that long.
I think there's certain ones as well, you can set it to auto update at certain times, like in the middle of the night when you're never going to use it anyway. And some, if you do all your things on like Office 365, it's already kind of saved up in the cloud anyway. So
yeah, brilliant.
Things to think about.
Lovely. Next.
Number 3, software updates. This is what we're currently going through on the computer over here. It is taking a long time, so I understand why people do not want to do software updates, because they're boring and they're long and it's a bit of a hassle when you just want to get on with your work or your Facebook Live broadcast.
Yes.
But your software update is going to be your security patch. So the longer you leave your security patching, it's like having a broken window on your house. So if you had a broken window, you would board it up pretty quickly because you don't want anyone getting into your house. It should be the same with your computer. If they've asked you to update your browser or your system or a program, you're going to want to do it as quickly as you can, because that is going to patch up your broken window so that no nasties, no creepy people can get in.
And the same on your phone as well.
On your phone, your iOS update and all sorts of things like that. That is just going to keep thing. And they have cyber criminals will know as soon as that software update comes out what it's patching, so they know then what areas of your computer to try and exploit. So they know the know-how. So if you patch your system, even if they try to get in, they won't be able to.
Good point. Thank you.
And then our point 4, I had to try and think of what number.
Yeah.
Because I talked about 2-factor authentication and all sorts of things, so my finger's doing random things. Public Wi-Fi. Public Wi-Fi. Who likes going into Costa and McDonald's and accessing free Wi-Fi? That is fine if you're going to catch up on Love Island, which I'm not. It's going around, everyone's chatting about it, not me.
It's just started again, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Not that I'm watching it, I have to say.
Or if you just want to catch up on BBC News, if you're like more highbrow. That's fine. If you are, however, going to do your business work, your banking, don't log on to public Wi-Fi, because you can't be sure that networks or that security is there. So there's a great example of an airport where people were all logging on to McDonald's Wi-Fi to get everything done. And there was no McDonald's at the airport. Somebody had set up their own little Wi-Fi setup and advertised it as McDonald's Wi-Fi, knowing everybody was going to log on, and just got loads of information off other people.
That's terrible.
So don't trust public Wi-Fi. Have your own. You can get a MiFi, you can get a dongle.
Yeah, see, I've never heard of that, a MiFi.
MiFi is just a little device and you just plug it into your own little Wi-Fi. You can set up a hotspot, so you can use the 4G on your phone, and you can set it to connect to your laptop, so your laptop will use your 4G, so you can carry on working like that. Or just wait until you're doing anything secure until you get home.
Yes.
Post macchiato latte or something.
Exactly. And it is tempting when you're out and about wanting to log on to Wi-Fi, because there's always so much to do as a business owner and you're just trying to make the most of your time, but always be conscious of those security issues. You really don't want to get hacked. It's the worst.
The current statistics, I think, from it was either last year or the year before, was I think 60% of small businesses got hit by at least one cyber attack. Most had about 4. and the average amount lost per business was about £3,000. And you can imagine a lot of micro business out there are really going to struggle to recover from that, and that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So it does pay to be savvy, especially with the GDPR now, where we have to be really good about our security. Otherwise, there could be fines or consequences for breaching personal data of other people.
Yeah.
So you have to demonstrate that you're really putting in some steps to improve your cybersecurity, so that if something does happen, you can explain to them, like, I've done this, 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 and this, I still got hacked. And then they will look more favourably upon you because you've at least put in a lot of effort to try and get something done. One of the things you can do as a business is to go onto the Cyber Essentials. It's kind of a quiz, kind of tick list. You can write in what things you've thought about, what things you haven't, and it will just highlight areas of your security that you might not know about, and then it will give you some advice about how to improve that. So it's free to do, and it's government run, so it's an easy thing to look on.
www.cyberessentials?
I think so, off the top of my head. If you just go into Google and put Cyber Essentials, it should come up. It's like it's got a little tick as the logo, so you should be able to identify that. And the last one we're going to talk about is dodgy emails, spam emails, phishing. You can call it all sorts of just really annoying emails. They're becoming a lot more sophisticated than I want to give you all my gold. A lot of them will come from, it looks like people you recognise, the bank. HMRC is going to be a huge one because we're in kind of tax return season, or like the new tax year. So the best thing to do if you receive any email, if you're not expecting it, or if it seems to panic you, you have to do this, or your account will be deactivated, or you were given a tax rebate. Isn't that wonderful? You must claim it now. Is to check the from status. If you were checking an email on your phone, I would go on to click the from bit, and it should say an email address, and it should be, if it was PayPal, paypal.com. However, usually you might click on the bit that says we're from PayPal, and then when you actually look at the email address, I had one that was at universityofcoventry.ac.uk, which is obviously not PayPal, and it's probably also not University of Coventry, but it was just a random email address. If they ask you to click on any link or open a document, don't do that at all, because that is what can release ransomware or malware or a keylogger or something onto your computer that's nasty. If you hover your mouse over any links, it should tell you where it's redirecting to if it's a dodgy email. It might say, go to this link, www.paypal.com, but it's actually, when you hover over it, it redirects to absolute gobbledygook, and you know that someone is hijacking that, sending you to a page that looks exactly like PayPal to log in, by which time they've got your login credentials, and then they can use that to exploit you. So the best thing to do if you get any email from the bank or any client or anything is to go onto the website normal, log in properly, don't click on any links. If it's a customer or a client and they're asking to change bank details or change address for delivery, just give them a call to double check that information, because there's a big thing at the moment where people are hijacking payments and claiming the money or the goods for themselves by pretending to be someone you know and trust and that they know you do business with, and then pocketing the cash themselves.
There was also something you mentioned about hoax calls as well this morning. Could you just go over that briefly?
So we've done phishing, this other one is vishing, and there's text message fraud, which is smishing. I don't know who makes up all of this. Vishing calls are somebody calling you up, again, pretending to be a bank, pretending to be a customer. A lot of them going around saying that they're Microsoft and they've identified a problem on your computer. Can you log on and we'll have a look on that and we'll fix it for you. Generally, they then say, oh, we're really, really sorry that this has happened to you. If you log into your online banking, we'll credit you some information, some money. Then you'll log on to your online banking, but they've remotely accessed your computer in order to fix it. So what they'll do is they'll find out what your banking credentials are. They'll transfer money, usually from your savings account into your regular account, to make it look like they've given you money, but they haven't. Then they'll say, we've given you too much, can you pay us some back? And they'll ask for it through some kind of voucher or it's some currency that is difficult to trace, like Bitcoin or another cryptocurrency. And then you realise accidentally that you've transferred half your savings to them from your savings account. The best thing to do if you receive a phone call from a company you trust is to say, sorry, I'm not sure I can verify this call, hang up on them, wait either 5 minutes, I can use my hands again, wait 5 minutes to double check that they're not still holding on the line, because what they can do is stay on the phone even if you've hung up, And then when you try to ring your normal bank, you'll just get connected to them again. So wait 5 minutes or use a different phone and call up your bank on a number that you trust. It's on your bank card, for example, and just say, is this an issue? And there's going to be no problem at the bank that needs to be sorted out that urgently.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way to identify those calls. You have to transfer your money into another account immediately or hell will break loose.
Yeah.
It won't. Your bank should be there in your best interest to protect your money. If there is a problem, they will find other ways of contacting you, and nothing's going to be that super urgent, so I wouldn't worry too much.
Wonderful. Well, I hope you found that useful. It's thank you so much.
Thank you.
Because it's just amazing what is out there, and working from home as a small business, it can be really daunting, especially if you're not a techie person like most of us struggle with it. So thank you. I think I'll put a blog out that will just go over that again, so that you've got something there, and we will tell you what those websites are that you can go on just to make sure that you're safe. The other thing that I was just going to say is, if you went onto the cyber awareness and you do like a little test, did you say?
Cyber Essentials.
Cyber Essentials, and you do a test, then you get what happens? Do you get?
It's almost like a quiz, and it will ask you a series of questions like, have you thought about this? And you'll say yes, no. And it's like, okay, from this quiz we've identified that maybe backups aren't your best area. You might want to consider doing this, that, and the other. There's also worth looking at the NCSC guidance on it's guidance for small business, so cybercrime security for small business, and it's the small business guide, and it will just give you kind of 5 areas to have a look at.
Did you say there was one where you could take a test and then you can put a badge on your email so that people know?
Oh yeah, so the Cyber Essentials one, there's the free version, which is the quiz that I was chatting about. You can do the Cyber Essentials Plus, which you do the quiz, you fix everything that's wrong, and then you get somebody come in and assess how well you do your cybersecurity with your business, and they will give you a certification, which is your Cyber Essentials Plus. What this indicates to businesses is that you take your cybersecurity seriously, which in GDPR times is really important.
Yeah.
If you're looking to do business with a really high up business, they're going to want to make sure that you aren't going to be the weak link that makes them have a problem. So by doing business with you and you're not good with your cybersecurity, it's going to lead to a breach for them and a big fine for them because they're a bigger company. They're not going to want to do business for you. If you say, well, I've got my Cyber Essentials Plus, everything on my accounts is secure and locked down, you're going to be a lot more appealing to a bigger business to do business with.
Okay, fantastic. Lovely. Right, we're done. Thank you so much.
Bye.
I really hope you found that useful, and I will be back. Have a lovely rest of the day.